Edward here from ERViewer.com. I have another video for you. I look for inspirational people and I find things that they say and that they do that correlate with what I'm doing and how it all kind of pieces together. I like interviews with David Lynch. He's an interesting guy. His movies are very interesting. And I like how he describes his creative process in that he gets an idea and then he stays true to the idea, and even to the extent of where people ask him, well, does your movie mean this and does it mean that, and your movie relates to certain people, types of people, and he doesn't relate to any of that because the only thing that's important to him is to capture the idea, express it in a medium, and keep it as true to the to keep it as true to the idea as he possibly can. And how that relates to remote viewing is that what Ingo Swann said was something very similar, and he teaches that that's how he taught remote viewing, that when a perception comes in, you want to describe it exactly as it presents itself. Stay true to the way that it presents itself. That's Ingo Swann. Here's David Lynch in his explanation of capturing something in the creative process.
Ideas are the number one best thing going. And ideas come to us. We don't really create an idea, we just catch them like fish.
That's exactly, in stage one of remote viewing, that is exactly how the stage one is explained as well. You don't create an ideogram or that scribble, you allow it creates itself. You allow its creation. You're not doing the creative process itself. So a lot of things that David Lynch is talking about here, and I'm going to go over another quote from someone else here in a minute too, and how all of these things correlate in the processing of the mind, where creativity comes from, where the remote viewing input comes from, and the processes that are taking place below the threshold of our awareness. So back to David Lynch.
No chef ever takes credit for making the fish, it's just preparing the fish. So you get an idea, and it is like a seed. And in your mind, the idea is seen and felt, and it explodes like it's got electricity and light connected to it, and it has all the images and the feeling, and it's like in an instant you know the idea. In an instant. Then the thing is translating that to some medium. It could be a film idea or a painting idea or a furniture idea. It doesn't matter. It wants to be something. It's a seed for something. So the whole thing is translating that idea to a medium. And in the case of film, it takes a long time, and you always need to go back and stay true to that idea. Keep checking that idea. And what you realize is the idea is more than you realize. And if you're true to it, when the work is finished and some years go by, you can even get more out of it if you've been true to the idea in the first place.
Being true to the idea, just like Ingo Swann said, when the input comes through, you want to describe it exactly as it presents itself. There's another quote here. This is just this whole notion that I'm on, and how it correlates to human perception, remote viewing, and just the ability for human beings to be a creative vessel, a vessel where creative energy moves through. In one of my favorite books here, John Lilly's Center of the Cyclone, in the beginning of the book, he has a quote by another writer called G. Spenser Brown, who was talking about the discovery process. And the discovery process is linked to my other passion, which is the experience of pure curiosity. What is that? What is that experience? Where does it come from? How do we generate it? And how does it work? And Spenser Brown is talking about the discovery process, much like David Lynch is talking about capturing and catching ideas, where you request them, and then you allow them to come through, and you don't do anything to try to force them through. You just allow them to come through. David Lynch talks about that in his Capturing Ideas. Spenser Brown talks about that in the discovery process, meaning that the discovery process that Brown is talking about is that if you want to comprehend something that is not known, you make a request, internal request for it, for the discovery experience to take place, and then you wait for it to arrive, and you don't do anything while you're waiting. You don't try to distract yourself. You just wait for it to happen. The remote viewing process is similar to that, although there is more exercise involved. But we are requesting the perception, which is the discovery process. We receive it as, like David Lynch is talking about, capturing the idea of it, and then we allow it to unfold, and we experience it as much as we can in the discovery process that we call remote viewing. All these things correlate to each other, and this is where my interest is going, is in how a better understanding of how these processes work. I have a series of interviews that I'm going to be posting where I'm interviewing creative people, artists, and I'm discussing with them their creative process, what they go through, what they experience as they are involved in their creative experience, and what that's like for them, and exploring that with them. So that's what's coming up for my work, is more looking into the source of what I'm calling pure curiosity, inspiration in the form of some below the threshold excitement that bubbles up, and that drives people in a specific direction, or pulls them in a specific direction to create something. What I mean by pure curiosity is, in the experience of remote viewing, people experience curiosity. They'll look at something, they'll become curious about it. There's something typically in the environment that they become aware of, that triggers their curiosity. But what I'm calling pure curiosity is in a remote viewing session where the viewer is unaware of what the target is, yet somewhere deep below the threshold of awareness, the mechanism of curiosity is triggered, and then the viewer suddenly is experiencing curiosity, and the session is being led by the curiosity, and the viewer then explores what it is that is triggering this curiosity experience. I call it, in my previous videos that I've had out a while ago, curiosity tunnels the threshold, where once the curiosity experience begins to happen during a session, it is that feeling that then can be used as a tunnel mechanism through the threshold barrier into the areas of the mind where the catalyst for the curiosity exists, and then exploring that catalyst, or in remote viewing terms would be the input itself. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring that up a little bit. My Patreon page is up and going for folks that want to go along on that journey with me. Like I say, I'm going to have interviews with various artists. I have a couple of them ready to go. I'll be uploading them pretty soon. And hope you enjoy this and stay tuned and many more to come.